Players, Frumpy Dumping MAGA is really making America great again. According to reporting, segregated facilities are no longer explicitly banned in federal contracts. I declare, honey, it's a disgrace. So last month, there was a public memo issued by the General Service Administration, and the segregation clause is one of several identified in that memo. Now, that memo explains that it is making changes prompted by Frumpy Dump's executive order on diversity, equity, and inclusion, which repealed an executive order signed by President Lyndon B. Johnson in 1965 regarding federal contractors and non-discrimination. The memo also addresses Frumpy Dump's executive order on gender identity. So the Federal Acquisition Regulation, known as the FAR, is a huge document used by agencies to write contracts for anyone providing goods and services to the federal government, and it strictly prohibits segregated facilities. It says, and I quote, "The contractor agrees that it does not and will not maintain or provide its employees any segregated facilities at any establishments, and that it does not and will not permit its employees to perform their services at any locations under its control where segregated facilities are maintained." So with Frumpy Dump rolling back that clause, several federal agencies, including Department of Defense, Commerce, and Homeland Security, have notified staff who oversee federal contracts that they should start instituting these changes. A recent notice from the NIH shows that the change is already in effect. The notice regarding a maintenance agreement for scientific freeze dryers cites the memo regarding prohibition of segregated facilities and FAR. Equal opportunity will not be considered when making award decisions or enforce requirements. Now, it's important to note that all businesses, those that have government contracts and those that do not, still have to follow the federal and state laws, including the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which makes all segregated facilities illegal. But according to a constitutional law professor at New York University, this deal with Frumpy Dump is symbolic but incredibly meaningful in its symbolism. These provisions that require federal contractors to adhere to and comply with federal civil rights laws and to maintain integrated, then segregated workplaces were all a part of the federal government's efforts to facilitate the settlement that led to the integration in the 1950s and 60s. I'm going to go ahead and keep it a stack with you players. I am no longer surprised by anything done by this administration. This is absolutely abhorrent, but it's to be expected when we're dealing with MAGA. Whoever becomes the next president, they're going to have a lot to clean up because Frumpy Dump is completely destroying everything that he touches at this point. Players, put your thoughts in the comments. This is Double D Mo for the Black Accurate News.